Real media, real life, real talk. Straight out of Jacksonville, Florida. This is the Jasmine Experience. Welcome to the Jasmine Experience, where HBCU life, media, and making things better all come together. I'm your host, Jasmine Meriedy, and today we're talking about how historically Black colleges prepare us for the future. Joining me are two amazing Southern University alumni, Eric White and Laila Hazel, both spring 2025 graduates. Eric White, a native of Donaldsonville, Louisiana, with a bachelor's in mass communication, also a 2025 Coca-Cola Emmy Award-winning documentary of The Hidden Sport, a documentary on how the band is just as much of a sport as football. Also, I have Laila Hazel, a Los Angeles, California native with a bachelor's in psychology and a business owner with her photography business, Hidden Angles, and her fabulous sunglass business called Lenses by Lay. Both graduates have been very successful in their lives after college, and let's find out how attending historically Black college made them successful in their past. Let's dive in. So, welcome guys.
Hey.
How are y'all?
I'm great. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting us.
No problem at all. I'm so glad you guys could join me today. So let's get right into it. What made you guys choose Southern University as your home?
Eric, you go first.
Okay. Well, of course, I am from Louisiana, so I have heard about Southern clearly. But I mean, growing up, going to homecoming, my classic, I always did follow Southern. Everyone was always part of my blood. But what really made me go there was when it came down to the college decision process. You know, you always want to choose something that benefits your major, but also when you can get that fun side of things. So when I saw the Southern University Office of the Media, where I spent 4 years at, that just solidified my decision that I should be on the block.
Laila?
You heard this story through and through. I was able to select Southern through the experience of IU Classic. I was able to attend in 2019, and it was one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever had. Coming from Los Angeles, we don't have HBCUs, so having the HBCU experience right in front of me and Southern giving it to me the way that the juice box gave it to me, I felt really comfortable, and I was applying during the time of a pandemic, so a lot of my HBCU tours were canceled. So I felt like there was a reason why I was introduced to that school so soon prior to my application period. So I made the decision to go ahead and go with what I did know, and I was able to open up a whole lot of new doors like you were able to mention earlier. So I'm just super glad that I chose Southern and we made it through.
So glad you both chose Southern. Now, I'm glad that you mentioned the pandemic because both of you started when the pandemic was happening. How was that transition on coming home and starting your new life here at Southern as freshmen?
Yeah, I mean, funny thing is, 3 months before I came to Southern, even my high school graduation was a little bit restricted because of COVID, right? So, this is gonna be the first time, returning back to school, for the full school year. So coming to Southern, it was like culture shock because I think people forgot how to socialize through that time because everybody was so quarantined, be cautious, this place shut down. So just getting back to meeting people, connecting with people all over the country, the world even sometimes. So just getting the feeling of that was probably the biggest deal.
I think for me, I had to deal with, for one, the culture shock of moving to the South, for one, and for two, being able to open up. Because, like you said earlier, we came from being in quarantine for so long. You're socializing with the normal people that you're normally talking to, and then out of nowhere, I'm all the way on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I had to definitely get acclimated with the Southern culture out there and what that meant. And for me, I think the most challenging part was allowing myself to fall. I love being a perfectionist. I love getting things right on the first time, but college is not getting it right at all. You get better by messing up, And I think that was definitely the most challenging part, was letting myself fall so I could build up what I did know.
It's great that you both got to build and you got to experience something that the world necessarily didn't understand at the time, but you both seem like you managed very well becoming graduates. Now, Eric, you did mention the Office Student Media, and if you didn't know, all three of us are part of Office Student Media, and we met on a college trip, actually, to New York, to a CMA conference where both Office Student Media won many awards that time. How was that experience shaped the way you look at things that you've experienced now in life?
Oh, oh man, for that question, I would have to start out with definitely going on that trip. Like now since this was probably at the time like the world was really probably starting to fully open up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you factor that in, I think just realizing that even though we're from different parts of the world, we all have like similar backgrounds. We all have like the same drive, the same motivation. But yeah, at the same time, we're like the chill kids, right? We did what we had to do, come in the office, leave, do what we have to do. So just connecting on the small things, sharing those good laughs, it allowed everybody to see each other in a different light. And I feel like that was the most rewarding part of that. And really what I took away with that from life, and you never know who you're gonna run into, you never know who might be in the same boat as you that you can get.
Laila?
Definitely. I feel like for me, New York and the college media experience alone was an amazing experience, and it opened the door for the fact that I'm a million times over, I'm not a mass comm major. So for one, we came in there and we won multiple awards, and then even then, so I watched that same group that got to go out in the real world and compete and win on a national level, Eric, and many of there was plenty of people in that office that I was able to see put together their own ideas, and they were original and they worked. So in all of that whole experience just taught me that originality is always going to work, and no matter what you have, that is enough. And no matter what happened in the office and no matter what happened on that trip, we made it enough. We had a great time, and on top of it, we took that core group and added so many more people to create exactly what we have now. So I think that's the bigger picture. That's what we're supposed to be doing, basically learning new information and going out there and applying it and killing the game. Literally, I think that's really what I took away from all of that, is just to keep staying original.
Now, I know that both of you have been very adamant about being a part of other organizations and bringing that in, tying it towards your journey. Laila, you were the president of Psi Chi, and Eric, you were a member of Collegiate 100 Black Men. How do you feel like joining those organizations and being the face of leadership helped you in the real world transition, and how the way you carried yourself in different atmospheres?
You got to set an example. I think that's the thing. Set an example. When you're joining these different organizations or when you're over these different organizations, you're always seen in the spotlight. You come up to people all the time. You're probably their first direct person of contact. So, with that being said, it's important that you always have your integrity. You always treat people good, and also you just always make sure that you can be helpful. You're gonna feel like you're gonna hurt somebody, then you should not be in a position.
Whatever. You've always been in the role of leadership, from what I know, but
it's hard one, because it's just like I was the president of Psi Chi. I was in Jaguar Ambassadors 3 out of the 4 years. So and then I was on the cabinet like that last year. But in all of that, and in the podcast, Jesus, all of that stuff, I think for me, the main thing that I needed to know and keep moving forward with was, no matter what organization I was in, is that I represent myself. So a lot of times people are trying to say that, oh, you're an extension of the school, or you're the extension of your home or you're the extension of whatever, but you're really the representative of yourself. No matter what is going on, no matter what place you're in, no matter what pin you have on your shoulder, you're always going to be you. So if you don't agree with something, if you're not okay with something, if you want to see change in something, you are responsible for being the advocate for that to happen. So I think for me, the main thing was just making sure that no matter where I was, that I was staying true to what I believed in and knew that I represented myself. I'm not an organization. I'm not the school. I am who I am. And I think that you will be successful in organizations, and no matter what place you go in the real world, if you stay true to what you believe in, because you can't mess up being who you truly are. So I just really think that was how you go out in the world and do well.
So speaking of going out in the world, I know HBCUs, historically black colleges, we have a big stereotype on there's a lot going on, there's a lot wrong, but we make the most college rate of people that go far in life. How do you take this stigmatism of HBCUs don't really prepare you, they just cause more problems?
Numbers can say, no, I'm sorry, let you go.
Go ahead.
I think numbers, look, I know, if you ever heard authors, you heard Ashley, who was also close to us, say that, men, women lie, but numbers don't. But in this case, with that stigmatism, like Laila said, work in the district. You represent yourself, and it's what you choose to do with it. I mean, there's so many great actresses, actors, doctors, lawyers, you name it, and they came to HBCU. So, I just feel like that's a lot of noise. I feel like it's so easy to look down because, it ain't the most popular college you're going to hear, like an LSU, in Alabama, Harvard, Georgia, I got you. But for me, ultimately, what I'll say to that is that, to be honest, you make the plan for you are the driver of your own success. If you take a bull by its horns and you make sure that you control it. Nobody can take that away from you in an education facility. Let alone, if you want a real number to look at how many people or people of color graduate from college. Now that number ain't as big as you think. So it doesn't matter where it comes from. It's what you choose to do with it.
I think that though there is that stigmatism that HBCUs are in a certain stature versus other universities, you have to think about what HBCUs prepare us for. I know a lot of times we focus on what isn't right and a lot of what isn't working out. But my personal experience so far, since I've been post-grad for 2 months, I had to prepare to take my board exam to become a therapist for schools. And I did not understand the last semester of me preparing to graduate why my professor was putting me through so much at the end. But come time for me to take my board exam, it was the exact exam that I took for my final. I managed to take the test, and I was number 3 on the way out the door. So the point is that I'm trying to make, there is a stigma there that HBCUs may not offer or have the amenities that others have. But at the end of the day, our students are pulling out and doing what they're supposed to do and going above and beyond the time frame that they're supposed to. Most PWIs, that average student stays there for 6 years. That's unacceptable. So it's not because of the education or the quality of it. It's about wanting it. We want it. So that's why we're there. So no matter what stigma you try to put on it, any student that is in an HBCU is there because they want it. And that's the bottom line, and that's what's going to always put us on top.
Now, I know you said that your professor, you felt like he was pushing you really hard at the last minute. Let's talk about the connections we have with our professors that, yes, they may have been really hard on us, Eric. We know, MassCom, we have a couple of teachers that be like, okay, they're pushing us hard. But we have all seen the effects of it working out in our better area. You want an Emmy. Like, not too many people can say they want an Emmy fresh before you even walk the stage for graduation.
Your lifetime.
To lifetime. And
there's people that their entire lives and have never touched an Emmy award in life.
Yes. Like, I feel like our teachers, they are like our aunties, they're like our uncles, but sometimes we don't take it as that when they're hard on us, but they're hard on us for a reason. Is there a certain teacher that you want to maybe talk about with the experience that you had and it was like, okay, at that moment I didn't understand it, but now I get it. I understand why they did this.
You know, oh, Jazz. Okay, I'll start off with Dr. Bramer. He learned everything retired from something. So, I got the last little bit of him before he decided to, go and enjoy the rest of his life. What I'll say about him is that he definitely pushed us. He taught us no excuse. And like we need is no excuse. There's always, man, stuff happens every day, but that's just the point. Stuff happens every day, but when you realize that you get out of college, like at school, you feel like you can take a day for yourself and everything. You get out here in the real world, like that's not an option. You see the world still continue. This comes up the next day. This comes up when you don't want it to. So it just teaches you have to be strong and mentally tough no matter what's going on. And first off, like that's a little bit harsh, but seeing it now, I'm very much thankful to have it. So as things come, I'm able to take it in. Dr. Fuller.
Hello, Fuller.
With Dr. Fuller, she was hard, but what I can say, she did also see that you have to constantly be your best at all times. I learned that. You have to be your best at all times. No matter what, there's always somebody that may be trying to replace you, take what you want, or you're always in a competition. And I will say, at first I was like, man, like this woman is crazy. There is no way. What is she on, man? But now it's like, I see that. I see the competition. Currently, right now, you can see the job market right now. If you look at it, it's competitive right now. So, even though she might think she's on the great side, there was some things that you could.
Laila?
Ooh, Dr. Reggie. Boy, I just got off the phone with him. I swear. To this day, nothing changes. My girls from South Carolina are always going to be my girls no matter where I go. They're moving on and doing so many things. But the thing is that when you're a part of an organization or you're involved on the campus, you should not let it crumble and leave it alone. If you know that you helped and you were a supporting end of it, support it. Don't leave it hanging. And I think that's a big part of our network, and that's how we build things. Dr. Rackley is definitely somebody that I will always hold on to very dearly to my heart, because he didn't see me as just a student. He saw me as a child. I know that we're grown. I know that we're older, but we go through things. And as you're trying to get through your education and life is happening to you, you need something to keep you stable. And he was one of those people that no matter what was going on, he drove me nuts, but he kept me stable. He kept me understanding, like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. The ancestors are not proud. The ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Basically of why we're here. People work so hard for us to be able to have this type of education that you shouldn't just let it slip through your fingers just because it's getting difficult. And like I said, at the very end, when it was time to graduate, y'all, that test that I took, I was crying on the phone to Dr. Rackley because I was just not. I had a final, and Dr. Rackley was basically the person to talk sense to me at the last couple seconds of the quarter, and was like, look, you have not made it this far just for you to not make it across the stage. You need to take this final and you need to get it together. And I got it together. And here we are, and I can gladly say that we are about to get started on a therapist job, and I start my case in a week. So it's just crazy that those types of connections and things are very necessary. And for me to get that job, I had to reach back out to my professors. So this stuff goes basically beyond the classroom, and y'all know that.
Well, I am sorry to have to cut this conversation short, but I do want you both to give advice to our current and our future students of Southern and anybody who is interested in attending a historically black college, because we are, as you said before, our ancestors' wildest dreams. So just give a little quick little short advice on how to stay focused and making sure you're ready for the real world.
Okay. I'll start. Well, first of all, before I want to say during my Office of Student Media response, shout out to the Office of Student Media. I know coming this new year that you guys will be having a centennial. I know that you guys will be making 100 years, so happy to be part of that legacy. But in terms of my advice, I would say no matter how tough it gets, remember you guys are you're built for this. It may not seem like it now. We understand the frustrations. I get it. Everybody's trying to get to that graduation level, and you guys are gonna get there. But just know you're built for it. Make your connections right now. Talk to your professors because you never know. As much as they push you, you be like, oh, like I can't take no more of this woman or this man. Remember, these people were once in your shoes, and they have to push us because they don't push us. When you get out here in the real world and you see how competitive and how nobody's trying to give you any excuses, you're gonna wish you had somebody like that. And last but not least, remember this: prepare yourself. If it sounds scary at first, I get it, but take those risks, especially if it's something that you know you want to do when you're done with college. Absolutely, working in sports. There's a lot of things I didn't know that might not get accepted to, or how was I going to figure out how to get here. But I took a step out on faith, and I made my preparations where I could, and everything follows suit. So definitely take the risk that you need to take.
I feel like the advice that I would give to anybody that's like at Southern right now would be to push yourself. You're not there to be the same person that you came in as. So with that, you're going to have to lose certain things about yourself. You're going to have to gain certain things about yourself, and be okay with having those brief funerals and those amazing welcomes to these new opportunities. Because it's hard to transition and it's going to be different, but understand that you're in a transitioning phase, and that's what this is for. So I would definitely say for anybody that's in school, just know that you're going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to be a period of time where you're going to either have to push yourself and make it to the end, or not make the mark and have to try again. And that's just what it is. So make that decision and stick to the decision you make. And that's just all I have.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining me. So glad you guys could be here.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
No problem. And thank you to the listeners for hanging out with me here on the Jasmine Experience. Don't forget to follow the journey at _Jasmine_Experience. And remember, this is real life, real media, and real talk. I'm your host, Jasmine Meriedy. Till next time, stay real and stay tuned. Bye. Real media, real life, real talk. Straight out of Jacksonville, Florida. This is the Jasmine Experience.